Unit 4, Selling and Distribution. Purchase is a process through which a person gets the ownership of some goods, can be a property also, and sale is the process through which the seller transfers his ownership to the buyer. Purchase and sale always go together. जब हम खरीद रहे हैं तो हम कोई सामान हमारे नाम पे हो जाता है। जब हम बेच रहे हैं तो हम अपना कोई सामान किसी और के नाम पे बेच रहे हैं। इसके लिए हमें कोई रकम या प्राइस मिलता है। परचेज और सेल हमेशा एक साथ होता है। बिजनेसमैन produce goods and services for others' use. When customers buy those goods and services for a price, it's only when the price should be higher than the cost of making those goods and services that the businessman earns a profit. Profit is a reward for risk taking, and it is also the income that a businessman gets. When a buyer wants to buy a good, there are 4 things that the buyer needs to consider. Number 1, what are his or her needs? Second, what are the attributes or features of the product he or she wants to buy? Is the price correct for the buyer? And what are the social and cultural aspects that influence our choice? Businessmen गुड्स इसलिए बनाते हैं ताकि वो उसे एक दाम से बेच सकें। जब सेलिंग प्राइस उस प्रोडक्ट को बनाने के कॉस्ट से ज़्यादा होता है तब बिजनेसमैन को प्रॉफिट मिलता है। अगर कोई खरीदार, कोई बायर कोई प्रोडक्ट खरीदना चाहता है, उसे 4 चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना होता है। उसकी अपनी ज़रूरत क्या है, हिज और हर नीड्स, उस प्रोडक्ट के फीचर्स क्या हैं और एट्रीब्यूट्स क्या हैं, वो प्रोडक्ट मेरे बजट के अंदर है कि नहीं, मेरे लिए अफोर्डेबल है कि नहीं, एंड लास्टली सोशल एंड कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट्स। जैसे नवरात्रि के टाइम पे काफ़ी लोग नॉन वेजिटेरियन खाना पसंद नहीं करते हैं। इस टाइम पे देयरफॉर इवन इफ आई एम अ नॉन वेजिटेरियन आई मे चूज टू बाय वेजिटेरियन फूड आइटम्स। कुछ भी खरीदने या बेचने के पहले it is very important to identify what is the requirement of the customer or design the product according to that requirement. The customer must derive satisfaction once they buy the product. Secondly, the product must be also very easily available to the customer. The price should be such that the customer can afford it, and the customer should be aware that the product exists. अगर उन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि कोई प्रोडक्ट है तो वो उसको खरीद नहीं सकते हैं। When we look at buying and selling, these are the aspects that we need to keep in mind. Selling means exchange of goods and services for a particular price. A related term is marketing. Marketing means gaining an understanding of the customer's preferences. Secondly, then creating a marketing plan that will then make sure that the customer's needs are met by the product or service that we design. Purchase and sale can be on 2 bases. It can be a cash purchase or a credit purchase. When the buyer pays the price immediately, it's a cash purchase. If the buyer is not paying the price immediately but pays the price over a period of time, that is called a credit purchase. When we are looking at the methods of sale, in most cases we assume it will be a cash sale, but if the item is expensive, it may be sold on a particular day, but the amount of sale will be received over a period. The third method of sale that is possible is what is called an auction. That means a bid is made that then eventually the seller sells to the person who offers to pay the highest price. Two methods of sale that we will study in detail are hire purchase and installment payment. Both of them are credit sales, which means that a good is sold but the price is received over a period of time. Primary difference between the two is that in case of a hire purchase agreement, the goods are regarded as being on hire or rent until all installments are paid by the buyer. If the customer fails to pay any installment, the seller can ask for the goods to be returned. Also, we can actually buy the good outright by paying the total remaining amount at any stage, but the sale will only close once the entire amount is received by the seller. It is generally used for expensive items such as machinery, cars, motorcycles, etc. Sale through installment payment, however, means payment is made in installment, but ownership right passes to the buyer as soon as the selling process and the initial payment is complete. The primary difference between the two are deferred installment method is a contract for sale, whereas hire purchase method is a contract for hiring goods. Deferred installment, the ownership right passes on to the buyer immediately. But in case of hire purchase, the ownership right passes only on the payment of all installments. In case of hire purchase, you can actually, the seller can take back the possession of goods. But in case of deferred installment, the buyer can return the goods at any stage, and in case the seller is not receiving the payment, the seller can also demand the goods. The other methods of sale are sale on approval, sale through a tender, or an auction. Sale on approval is a conditional sale. Basically, it means the buyer can return the good and claim a refund within a specific period if the goods don't meet his or her requirements. Sale through tender means in case a purchase has to be made by a big organization or government agency, a tender is floated where sellers apply for the right to meet such a requirement. A notice or a tender is published in newspapers about goods that are required to purchase, and all potential sellers can fill this tender. Last is the auction sale. That means sale of goods on a specific date which is made to the highest bidder. In this case, you actually have a situation where if the reserve price is not met, the sale may be held back. One last point we would like to look at is what are called wash sales. Wash sales are a situation where they are like clearance sales which are actually offering huge discounts to clear surplus or old stocks.